Good morning, YouTube family. Martinez Country Home here. Today's Wednesday, August the 4th, 2021. So, a couple of things that are on the radar right now that are pretty much everywhere, not just on the radar, but it uh, obviously is the health crisis and the ramp up um, of the how you say of the ways that they're trying to mitigate the health crisis and stuff like that. Um, just listen to a video from Angry Prepper, and I'm gonna leave the description. Sorry, leave the link in the description. Uh, Talking about how he explains what they're doing in New York City with De Blasio. So basically, over there, uh, they made some kind of an edict or whatever, saying that if you want to be inside movie theaters, restaurants, um, or whatever, you have to be vaccinated. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what he was saying. Uh, if not, you have to wear a mask, something like that. Um, in California, they're doing something similar. They're a lot of these states, a lot of these new mandates and stuff like that. They're gonna be state by state. Some states are doing that, especially in the West Coast. Basically, the blue states, guys, is where they're really um, putting in these draconian measures and stuff like that. Um, the one that I know about the most is from New York because he does make a lot of videos talking about it in detail. The other now here in the state where I live in, that they're talking about it, especially like for the schools. As far as the masks, not they haven't really talked about the vaccinations. They're of course they're encouraging people to get it. Um, they're still wanting to at the local level to make people wear the mask they're in certain buildings. But the governor here in Texas issued a mandate uh, that they can't do that. Now, personally, I don't like mandates because they're not law. They don't have the force of law. They shouldn't have the force of law. But just like Supreme Court rulings, which I'll get to in a minute, uh, because these mandates and edicts are basically a person making a statement just off of just from him saying, him or her giving a statement, and so now it's law. um that to me, that reminds me of so-called royalty, people that are in royalty, and they're gonna make, like back in the old days, where the king came out or the queen came out and gave made a declaration, and just from what the words that came out of their mouth, it was now law. So um, now you take the good with the bad. Obviously, I don't like any politicians. I don't really support any politicians because they've all shown that it's all for the money. That's the way I see it. Um, the next thing that came out was the moratorium. The eviction moratorium ended on July the 31st, 2021, over the weekend. So the CDC came out, and they came out with their own revised statement, saying that beside just so the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional and that they couldn't do that. The CDC could not do that, and they shouldn't be doing that. They're a corporation listed in Duns and Broad Street, so you can look that up. Um, they say they're a nonprofit, but the evidence points otherwise. But you can look up that yourself, guys. So the CDC did make a revised statement, a revised declaration or whatever, that goes all the way up to October the 31st, 2021. And that one says wherever uh, the heaviest hit area excuse me, the heaviest hit areas um, of the health crisis, and people that are behind on their rent, um, that in those places is where their revised edition will stand, that they can still stay at home. um I'm not insensitive or um cold-hearted person, but a lot of these landlords that rent it out to people, um they have rights too, and some people might not agree with it or whatever, but without these landlords, guys, without these people giving people a chance to rent a house or even buy a house, a lot of homes are bought from one person to another, selling their home, homeowner finance, things like that. A lot of people would never have the opportunity to own property or a home or have a place to stay. So I don't think, especially the CDC, has a right to do what they're doing. Um, it's just another example of the world we're living in, and how there seemingly is no government anymore. It seems like doesn't seem like it. It is what happened is the corporations run everything, and so people realize that, you know, or I mean, what can be done? I don't know. I'm not at that level, um, but people have to stand up for themselves, and however that may be, in people's mind, in your own mind, you have to make some kind of a line in the sand, and defend that line. There's a lot more people waking up, a lot more people realizing that what's going on is wrong. There's a lot of people that went along with all the mandates in the first health crisis, the first go around in March of 2020. But a lot of a lot of people that went along with it back then are have realized that there's a lot going on. There's a lot more going on than meets the eye, and I think they realize they've been played. I'm gonna leave a link in the description as well. Uh, Neverlosetruth made a great video discussing the CDC. Also, guys, Neverlosetruth has been putting out at least 2 videos a day for the past few weeks, or even maybe even longer. But um, those are one of the channels that I listen to pretty regular, and I can't even keep up, guys. She's putting out so much information and good information, guys. It's just incredible. So I'm gonna leave a link to that video discussing the CDC, their new, I don't know what you call it, their new statement, their new declaration, whatever. Um, but she discusses also other things that are going on with the weather, the strange weather, which we've seen for ourselves. But um, she's showing examples of it. Pretty much the tyranny that's going around all over the world, especially in the Western countries, in the Western nations, um, and here in the United States. So, um, so that being said, guys, just keep preparing. I'm seeing shrinkflation. That's the main thing. Of course, that's just inflation hidden in a different way. It's hidden to cover up the inflation, but it's so obvious. Quality of food that you do buy, a lot of times tastes very different because they're using inferior uh, ingredients to make those foods, or and I'll admit a lot of that food is processed, uh, things that are not healthy for you. So really, we shouldn't be buying them. But I'm noticing it, and what I mean by that, guys, is like for our house, we do buy potato chips every once in a while, because we like to eat sandwiches and stuff like that. Um, we're aware of the one thing that we're trying to cut from our diet, um, but it's very hard just because of the lifestyle we live. We're so busy and stuff. Is the bread. We eat, of course, we eat whole wheat, stuff like that. Um, we used to buy the sprouted wheat, the Ezekiel bread. It's very expensive, guys, to keep up for the amount of, and it's delicious. It's great. It's good. It's super healthy, but it's just too expensive. So we try to eat as healthy as we can. We keep it down to a minimum, but um, you know, uh, that is where we're seeing the effects of the inflation. Even the bread that we're buying, it's thinner. It's barely noticeable, but it's smaller. Toilet paper smaller. You're getting less for your money. I still have uh, cases of toilet paper from last year, and when you compare them to the ones that recently, they're much larger. The ones that they're selling now is smaller. So there is a lot of obvious effects of inflation, and it's small right now, guys. But it's just gonna keep getting worse. Your money's gonna go not as far. You're gonna have to find ways to cut back or much be less wasteful, stuff like that. There was another thing I was gonna talk about right now. I was just gonna say, um, we're still prepping. We're still preparing. Like I said, when I go to the grocery store, I'll buy 3 or 4 extra cans of something. It's not a lot, but like I said, if I go to the store, and it's kind of weird the way I do it, why not just buy it the first time and be done with it? But every time I go to pick up something that we need for the house, bread or milk, whatever, just something very simple, I have the habit that I'll get I'll get 2 or 3 extra cans, and or 4. Usually it's I try to get at least 3 cans, but and I just it just goes into the stockpile. There was another thing I was gonna talk about. Can't remember. Um, but anyway, that's what we're doing. If I remember, it was something important, guys. There's just a lot of things going on. Um, so what I was gonna discuss, it has to do, of course, with the financials. That's why I prep, guys, because obviously everything hinges on what we can buy, right? Our means of exchange, our money. So I prepare with some kind of a financial collapse, or some kind of extreme degradation of our ability to buy things, right? Either because the economy collapses, or our dollar just collapses, and we can't buy anything. But I think it was one of the hedge funds in Japan, one of their pension funds. I'm sorry, excuse me. Um, a a very big for pension system over there in Japan sold like almost all of their treasury bonds, like in the billion. No, actually it was over $1 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. I'll find that story and I'll link it also as well in the description. But the point is, guys, is that the United States is basically the treasury bonds that they used to sell, and people will come and buy. People are not buying them anymore. The treasury bonds. What they're doing is they're actually liquidating them, meaning that all these treasury bonds that they were holding, U.S. dollars, they're sending them back, and the treasury bonds, they're sending them back, and the one who's buying them is the Federal Reserve. They're actually buying up the treasuries and putting them on their balance sheet. Um, what they're doing also is they're turning them into what they call special purpose vehicles. Basically, they're just like the the mortgages that they did in 2008, that they bundled them up in bundles and sold them, toxic mortgages, right, from people that shouldn't have even been given that credit. They knew these people were gonna default. They were not gonna be able to keep up. So what they're doing, guys, is if you have a 401k or a pension, keep an eye on what exactly your 401k or your pension is invested in, because these people, these elites and other financial institutions are getting rid of their garbage, and they're getting paid full 100%, right? They're being made whole, and these toxic investments, what's happening is they're unloading it on public pensions and 401k, stuff like that. They're giving it to us guys, in other words. They already made their money. They made a killing on it. They bought up assets with it, and they're selling it, and the Federal Reserve is buying it up and giving it to us. So, just that's something to keep in mind, guys. Okay. Anyway, good being with y'all again, guys. I'll be a little bit more, make some more videos. There's a lot to talk about. Just there was a lot going on, but I'm here. I've been watching, keeping up with the content creators I look at. I've been keeping up with everything, and I just want to let y'all know what's going on. So anyway, guys, y'all have a great day. Y'all take care of each other and love each other out there, because that's what we're here for. God bless.